You are living with a creature that has been on this planet for 65 million years longer than you have, and you call it a pest. Yet the housefly doesn't care what you call it. Naturally, it continues to exist in every corner of your home, your restaurant, your garbage can, thriving in the filth you desperately try to hide. Now here's the thing that should terrify you. This insect is better at survival than you will ever be. Right now, we need to talk about what makes the common housefly not just an annoyance, but an actual god of adaptation, evolution, and biological warfare disguised in a body the size of a grain of rice. The fly sitting on your counter right now is looking at you. Yet it's not seeing you the way you see it. Crucially, you need to understand that its two massive eyes are actually 4,000 individual hexagonal lenses working simultaneously. Each lens captures a fragment, and together, they create a mosaic masterpiece of vision that wraps around its entire head. Basically, the fly has nearly 360-degree vision without ever turning its head. You blink, and you miss the world for 300 milliseconds. Yet the fly doesn't blink. Ever. Literally, it sees everything, all the time, in every direction except for a tiny blind spot directly behind its head. Now you're thinking you can sneak up on it. Yet you can't. Certainly, you'll swing that newspaper, and the fly will dodge it with an arrogance that feels personal. And it is. Because the fly doesn't experience time the way you do. Now before we get there, you need to understand what's happening in that microscopic brain. The fly's brain processes visual information 4 times faster than yours. Meaningly, your hand moving toward it appears to be moving in slow motion from its perspective. Your attack is a joke. Yet the fly isn't laughing because flies don't have that kind of emotional bandwidth. Instantly, it simply calculates, adjusts, and launches. Launches how? With wings that beat 200 times per second. That's not a typo. Literally, in 1 second, while you're taking a single breath, the fly has completed 200 full wing cycles. Now here's where it gets truly absurd. The fly doesn't use its wings the way you think. Honestly, we have to talk about the halteres, the 2 tiny club-shaped organs behind the wings that you've probably never noticed. See, these halteres are gyroscopes. Biological gyroscopes. Regularly, they oscillate at the same frequency as the wings and detect any deviation in flight path. The fly is essentially flying with the same stabilization technology that keeps your drone in the air. Yet the fly invented it 100 million years ago. You're still standing there with your newspaper. Yet the fly has already mapped out 6 escape routes. Basically, it doesn't just react to your attack, it predicts it. Because those 4,000 lenses aren't just cameras. Crucially, they're also motion detectors that can sense the slightest change in light and shadow. You move. Yet before your neurons finish firing, the fly's brain has already processed the threat, calculated the optimal escape vector, and triggered its legs. Those legs. We need to talk about those legs. Because they're not just for standing. Typically, they're chemical laboratories, taste testing stations, and adhesive factories all in one. The fly lands on your ceiling, upside down. And you've seen this before, so you think you understand it. Naturally, you're wrong. The fly doesn't stick to surfaces with suction. Yet it also doesn't use claws alone. Actually, the truth is far more elegant and disgusting. Each foot has 2 claws and 2 adhesive pads called pulvilli. And the pulvilli secrete a liquid glue made of sugars and oils. Basically, the fly is essentially walking on its own spit glue. This substance is so perfectly engineered that it provides enough grip to support the fly's weight on any surface, including glass. Yet it also releases instantly when the fly wants to move. Seriously, this is smart glue, responsive glue, glue that obeys commands faster than your muscles obey yours. Now here's the part that should haunt you. That glue also contains traces of everything the fly has walked on in the past hour. Routinely, when it lands on your sandwich, it's not just standing there. It's depositing a microscopic museum of filth. Feces, rotting meat, garbage juice, bacteria colonies that have names you can't pronounce. Yet the fly doesn't care about your immune system. Blatantly, it continues its mission, which brings us to the most viscerally disturbing fact about flies. They vomit on your food before they eat it. You thought they just landed and nibbled. But no. First, you need to understand the fly's mouth situation. It doesn't have teeth. Yet it needs to consume nutrients, and those nutrients are often solid. Naturally, evolution gave the fly a proboscis, a sponge-like appendage that can only absorb liquids. Solid food? That's a problem. Yet the fly solved this problem in the most revolting way possible. It vomits digestive enzymes onto your food. Meaningly, your sandwich becomes an external stomach. The enzymes break down the solid matter into a liquid slurry. And then, and only then, does the fly suck it back up through its sponge mouth. You're eating pre-digested food that's been marinated in fly vomit. But wait. Clearly, we're not done with the mouth situation. Because sometimes the fly's crop, which is essentially a storage stomach, is too full. Naturally, it needs to make room. Yet instead of finding a restroom like a civilized organism, it just regurgitates whatever was in there before. Basically, that brown droplet on your counter isn't just vomit. It's recycled vomit, possibly containing particles from the last 7 meals, which could include a dead rat, a pile of dog waste, and something that used to be food in your trash can 3 days ago. Yet you're still here, still breathing the same air as the fly. Right now, let's talk about what it's smelling. The fly has olfactory receptors on its antennae and even on its feet. Literally, it's tasting the surface with every step and smelling the air with sensors that make your nose look like a broken smoke detector. The fly can detect the scent of rotting flesh from several kilometers away. Yet it doesn't just smell decay. Actually, it smells opportunity. Because where there's rot, there's food. And where there's food, there's a place to lay eggs. And this is where the fly transitions from pest to architect of nightmares. The female fly needs to reproduce. Yet she's picky about real estate. Naturally, she's searching for the perfect substrate, which in her world means something moist, warm, and decomposing. Your garbage can qualify. And so does animal waste, rotting vegetables, and yes, open wounds on living creatures. Once she finds the spot, she lays up to 500 eggs in a single batch. Yet she doesn't stop there. Amazingly, over her short lifespan of 15 to 25 days, she can lay up to 2,000 eggs. Yet even that number doesn't capture the exponential horror. Literally, if all her offspring survived and reproduced at the same rate, a single pair of flies could produce 191 quintillion descendants in just 5 months. Quintillion. Yet the world isn't drowning in flies. Evidently, something is eating them. Birds, spiders, frogs, humans with newspapers. Yet even with all that predation, the fly population remains stable, thriving on the present. Basically, the fly has hedged its bets not with individual survival but with overwhelming reproductive speed. The eggs hatch in less than 24 hours. Yet what emerges isn't a fly. Actually, it's a maggot, a legless, faceless eating machine designed to consume as much rotting matter as possible before metamorphosis. Maggots are efficient. Horrifyingly efficient. Yet they're also necessary. Crucially, we need to pause the disgust and acknowledge what's really happening. The maggot is a cleanup crew. Yet not the kind you hire. Basically, it's the kind that shows up uninvited and does the job you didn't even know needed doing. Dead animals, rotting food, waste that would otherwise sit and fester and breed disease. Yet maggots consume it, break it down, turn it into something less dangerous. Actually, the fly isn't just a pest. It's an ecosystem engineer. Now let's return to the maggot's life cycle because it's genuinely insane. The maggot eats constantly for 3 to 5 days. And then it stops. Quickly, it hardens its outer skin and becomes a pupa. Inside that pupa, the maggot's body essentially melts. Yet it doesn't die. Literally, it's reorganizing itself at the cellular level, rebuilding from scratch into a completely different organism. This is metamorphosis. And it's also body horror on a microscopic scale. The maggot's tissues liquefy, and from that soup of former body parts, a fly emerges. Wings, legs, eyes, all constructed from the recycled components of the maggot. You've been swatting at a creature that dissolves itself and rebuilds into a flying machine. Now here's the crazier part. The fly remembers nothing from its maggot days. Basically, the fly you see buzzing around your kitchen has no memory of crawling through filth as a larva. Yet it instinctively knows to return to that filth to lay its own eggs. Crucially, this knowledge is hardwired, genetic, passed down through 65 million years of evolutionary refinement. Yet the fly doesn't just survive through reproduction. Actually, it survives through adaptability. Flies have been found in Arctic research stations and desert oases. Yet they've also been found in your bedroom, your car, and somehow inside your sealed Tupperware. Basically, the question isn't where flies can live. It's where they can't. And the answer is almost nowhere. Yet this adaptability comes from something deeper than just toughness. Right now, we need to talk about the fly's immune system, which is functionally better than yours. Flies are constantly landing on bacteria-laden surfaces. Yet they don't get sick. Amazingly, their hemolymph, which is basically insect blood, contains antimicrobial peptides that kill bacteria on contact. And these peptides are so effective that scientists are studying them to develop new antibiotics for humans. The fly, the creature you despise, might one day save your life from a superbug. Yet the irony doesn't stop there. Basically, consider this: flies are also vectors for disease. They carry over 65 different pathogens, including E. coli, salmonella, and typhoid. Yet they themselves remain unaffected. Crucially, the fly is both the problem and the solution. Now let's zoom out for a second because we need to contextualize the fly's place in history. Flies have been annoying living creatures since the Cretaceous period. And back then, they were annoying dinosaurs. Imagine the T-Rex, apex predator, king of the food chain, and it can't do anything about the fly on its snout. Yet the fly survived the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs. Basically, when the world burned and 75% of life went extinct, the flies looked around at the ashes and thought, "Great, more rotting meat." Yet the fly's relationship with humans is even more fascinating. Meaningly, we've been trying to kill flies for thousands of years. Ancient Egyptians had fly-swatting servants. Yet the flies didn't care. Medieval Europeans burned herbs to repel flies. Yet the flies adapted. Modern humans invented chemical pesticides, electric traps, and laser targeting systems. Yet the fly is still here. Clearly, we're not winning this war. We never were. So what are we even fighting? A creature with a brain smaller than a poppy seed. Yet that brain is capable of processing information, making decisions, and learning from experience. Scientists have trained flies to associate certain smells with rewards. Yet the flies remembered the training and changed their behavior. Basically, the fly isn't just an automaton. It has something resembling memory. Yet it also has something resembling choice. Now let's talk about what the fly is choosing when it lands on you. You're warm. Naturally, you're interesting. And you're also salty. Flies are attracted to the salt in your sweat. Plus, they're also attracted to carbon dioxide, which you exhale with every breath. Basically, the fly isn't randomly buzzing around. It's tracking you, hunting you, using you as a resource. Yet it's not malicious. Actually, it's just doing what 65 million years of evolution programmed it to do. Now here's the thing that really messes with your head: the fly doesn't know it's a fly. Naturally, it has no concept of its place in the world, no understanding that you find it disgusting, no awareness that it's been the subject of human hatred for millennia. Yet it continues to exist, to reproduce, to land on your food, because from its perspective, it's just living. So then, who's the villain here? The fly, or the species that creates mountains of garbage and then gets angry when something shows up to clean it? Because that's what the fly is doing. Yet we don't see it that way. Instead, we see the fly as a contaminant, an invader, a symbol of filth. Yet ecologically, the fly is a janitor, a recycler, a creature that takes death and turns it into energy for the food web. Without flies, we'd be buried in waste. Yet with flies, we're still annoyed. Let's talk about speed again because we glossed over something. The fly's reaction time is 5 milliseconds. 5. And yours is around 250 milliseconds. Basically, the fly is operating on a completely different timescale. Now this isn't just about reflexes. Actually, it's about perception. The fly's world is a slow-motion ballet where you're the lumbering giant moving through molasses. Yet the fly is the acrobat, dodging and weaving with computational precision. Yet the fly can't sustain fight forever. Naturally, it needs to rest. And when it rests, it's still alert, still watching, still processing. Because those compound eyes never close. Yet the fly does sleep, or something like it. Scientists have observed flies entering a rest state where their responsiveness decreases. Yet wake them up, and they're instantly operational. No grindiness. No hitting snooze. Just immediate, full capacity function. Now let's get back to the gross stuff because that's why you're still reading. The fly's legs are covered in thousands of tiny hairs. And these aren't decorative. Actually, each hair is a sensory organ. The fly can taste with its feet. And it can also sense texture, temperature, and chemical composition. Basically, when it lands on your arm, it knows more about your skin in 2 seconds than you've learned in a lifetime. Yet it's not impressed. You're just another surface. And those feet are also dirty. Incredibly dirty. Studies have shown that a single fly can carry over 2 million bacteria on its body. And most of those bacteria are on the feet and the mouth parts. Basically, every surface the fly touches becomes a bacterial transfer point. Yet the fly doesn't clean itself the way you think. Actually, yes, you've seen flies grooming, rubbing their legs together like tiny villains. Yet this grooming isn't about hygiene. It's about maintaining sensory function. The fly needs clean sensors to detect food and mates. And it doesn't care about the bacteria. Basically, the grooming redistributes the filth rather than removing it. Now the fly's mouth is even worse. That proboscis we talked about earlier? It's covered in grooves and channels that trap particles. Crucially, even after the fly vomits and feeds, remnants of previous meals remain. Yet the fly doesn't rinse. Basically, it carries a biological history of everywhere it's been and everything it's eaten. And then it lands on your face. Yet you can't kill them all. Right now, let's talk about what happens when you do kill one. You remove one fly from the population. Yet somewhere, another female is laying 500 eggs. Basically, your victory is temporary, symbolic, ultimately meaningless. Yet you keep trying. Because humans are stubborn. And so are flies. The fly has another trick we haven't covered. And it's a big one. Seriously, pay attention. The fly can take off backward. Most insects need a running start, or a forward leap. Yet the fly just jumps straight up and slightly backward in a single explosive motion. Naturally, when you swing at a fly, it's already behind the trajectory of your hand. Now this isn't luck. It's physics and biology working in perfect harmony. The fly's legs compress like springs. Yet the trigger is neural, instantaneous, faster than your neurons can propagate a signal. Now let's talk about what the fly is actually thinking, if we can even call it thinking. The fly's brain contains roughly 100,000 neurons. Yet your brain has 86 billion. Logically, you should be smarter. But are you? Because the fly has figured out how to survive for 65 million years using a fraction of the computational power you have. Possibly, maybe intelligence isn't about neuron count. Maybe it's about efficiency. Yet the fly's brain is efficient in ways that make engineers weep. Every neuron is used. And there's no wasted space, no junk code, no evolutionary baggage. The fly's brain is a lean, mean, survival machine. So what does the fly want? Food, obviously. And also mates. Male flies are aggressive suitors. Yet they're not romantic. Basically, courtship involves chasing, bumping, and vibrating wings to create a specific frequency. The female judges the male based on the sound. Now if she's not interested, she kicks him. Literally. And if she is interested, they mate in midair, which is both impressive and slightly horrifying. The act lasts only a few seconds. Yet it's enough to ensure the next generation. Yet after mating, the female's priorities shift entirely. Basically, she's no longer interested in males. Now she's very interested in finding the perfect rotting substrate. And she's picky. Yet not too picky. Basically, she'll settle for your garbage if nothing better is available. Yet given the choice, she prefers animal waste or decaying meat. Why? Because those substrates provide the highest protein content for her maggots. Yet she's not thinking about her children's nutrition in a conscious way. Blindly, she's following chemical gradients, instinct hardwired by millions of years of trial and error. Now let's talk about the fly's role in forensics because it's genuinely fascinating. When a body decomposes, flies arrive within minutes. Yet the species of fly in the developmental stage of the maggots can tell investigators how long the body has been dead. Basically, the fly becomes a witness, a biological clock, a tool for justice. Yet the fly doesn't know it's helping solve murders. Simply, it just does what it always does, lays eggs in death. Now this relationship between flies and death is ancient. Naturally, cultures around the world have associated flies with decay, evil, and pestilence. Yet some cultures also see flies as symbols of persistence and adaptability. Because you can't deny that the fly is persistent. Annoying. Relentless. Just persistent. Now here's something that will change how you see flies forever. The fly is capable of learning and memory. And not just simple conditioning. Basically, flies can be taught complex tasks. In experiments, flies learn to navigate mazes, avoid certain colors, and even prefer certain smells based on past experiences. Now here's the kicker. These memories can last for days. Possibly, the fly you shooed away yesterday might remember you today. Yet it probably doesn't hold a grudge. Probably. Yet the fly's memory has limits. Basically, it's not going to remember your face or your voice. But it might remember that swinging object that nearly killed it. And crucially, it might be more cautious around you. Yet not cautious enough to leave your house. Let's talk about temperature. The fly is cold-blooded. Yet that's a misleading term. Basically, the fly's body temperature matches its environment. Now this means the fly is more active in warm weather. Naturally, summer is fly season. Yet in winter, flies don't die. They hibernate. Yet not in the way you think. Actually, some flies enter a state called diapause, where their metabolism slows to nearly nothing. Yet they're not dead, just waiting. And when spring comes, they wake up hungry. Yet some flies don't even bother hibernating. Basically, they just move indoors. Into your house. Where it's warm. And where there's food. Basically, that fly buzzing around your window in January isn't lost. It's exactly where it wants to be. Now the fly's internal compass is remarkable. Flies can navigate using polarized light. Amazingly, even on cloudy days, they know which direction they're going. Yet they also use landmarks, smells, and something resembling spatial memory. Crucially, a fly can return to a food source it discovered hours ago. Yet it's not drawing a map. It's encoding the route neurologically, a breadcrumb trail of chemical and visual cues. But what about pain? Does the fly feel pain when you finally land that killing blow? The answer is complicated. Yet the fly has nociceptors, which are sensory neurons that detect harmful stimuli. Basically, it can sense damage. Yet whether that translates to suffering the way you experience suffering is unknown. And does it matter? Because you're still going to kill it. Yet let's consider the ethics for a moment. The fly is alive. Yet it's also a disease vector. Logically, killing it protects your health. Yet it also ends a life, however small and annoying. Yet we don't lose sleep over flies. Basically, we've decided that some lives matter less than others. Yet the fly doesn't agree with that assessment. Fiercely, it fights for survival with every fiber of its tiny being. Yet the fly's greatest enemy isn't you. It's other insects. Spiders trap flies in webs. Yet wasps paralyze them and implant eggs inside their bodies, turning the fly into a living incubator. And even fungi get in on the action. There's a fungus that infects flies and compels them to climb to high places before killing them and sprouting from their bodies. Yet the fly has no defense against this. Basically, it becomes a zombie, a puppet, a spore-spreading corpse. Yet despite all these threats, the fly persists. Actually, the housefly is one of the most successful species on the planet. Yet it doesn't celebrate. It doesn't reflect. Simply, it just continues the cycle: eat, mate, lay eggs, die. Now before we wrap this up, we need to talk about the fly's contribution to science. Fruit flies, close cousins to houseflies, have been used in genetic research for over a century. Yet their simple genome and fast reproduction make them ideal for studying heredity, development, and disease. Crucially, the fly has helped us understand cancer, aging, and even behavior. Yet we still swat them without a second thought. Yet the fly's biggest contribution might be philosophical. Because the fly forces us to confront a question: what is value? The fly doesn't produce art. Yet it cleans up waste. The fly doesn't build civilizations. Yet it feeds countless other creatures. Basically, the fly is valuable not because of what it does for us, but because of what it does for the ecosystem. Yet we still hate it. One last thing. The fly is always watching you. Yet you're not always watching it. Crucially, in the battle of attention, the fly wins. It processes the world 4 times faster than you. Yet you're distracted, slow, burdened by consciousness. The fly is pure function. Pure survival. Basically, in a very real sense, the fly is more alive than you are. And that brings us full circle. Because you are living with a creature that has been on this planet for 65 million years longer than you have, and you call it a pest. Yet the housefly doesn't care what you call it.